Have you ever seen these little buzzy gnat annoying things in the soil of your houseplants or your fiddle leaf fig? It can be super stressful because people worry about their plant, and also these things can spread. They're like fruit flies and they can spread to your other plants in the soil. They can lay eggs in the soil of your plant and reproduce, and it can be very difficult to get rid of them. So today I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know about fungus gnats on your fiddle leaf fig. So the first thing that you're going to want to do if you see any insect on your plant is you're going to want to try to identify what it is. So fiddle leaf figs can be prone to spider mites and some other pests. So you're going to want to make sure that these are true fungus gnats in the soil and they're not spider mites that can infest and kill your plant. So first of all, these gnats will only be in the soil. They're small, they're black, whereas spider mites and mealybugs can be on the leaves of your plant and they can be white in color. Typically they're white and they are on the leaves and they leave a webbing under the underside of your leaf. So flip over your fiddle leaf fig leaf, look at the bottom, make sure there's no kind of spider webs or webbing or white insects crawling on your plant. The gnats that we're talking about today, they're just very small black gnats on the surface of the soil of your plant, not on the leaves itself of the plant. So let's talk about how to prevent these gnats from coming into your soil in the first place. So a lot of times these come in the soil of new plants that you bring home. So you're going to want to inspect any plant that you bring home from a nursery and think about quarantining it before you spread this throughout your houseplant collection. So just take a good look at the soil, make sure it's not too moist, make sure there doesn't look like there's any insect activity in the soil of your new plant before you bring it home, and then quarantine it if you can so that you notice any problems or any insects on the plant. Because once you introduce these insects to your collection, it can be really, really hard to get rid of them. And then the other way that they can come into your home is through the soil. So anytime you purchase a soil, make sure it's a sterile purchase. Like for our fiddle leaf fig soil, it's fully sterilized before it comes in, and so it's bagged and sterilized so that you make sure there's no fungus, bacteria, or insects growing in the soil. So anytime you bring a new soil into your home, open it up and really inspect it. Make sure there's no insects or no, spores of mold or mildew or anything like that. Make sure it smells clean and fresh before you actually use it on your plants. So the next thing that you want to do to prevent this from happening is make sure you don't overwater. So these fungus gnats, they just thrive in moist, wet conditions. And so if your top layer of soil is drying out properly every couple of weeks, like your fiddle leaf fig should be doing, then you're not going to have a problem with fungus gnats. It's only when your soil is too wet that you're really going to see a problem. But the problems can escalate in a hurry. So even if you're just, you live in maybe a humid condition, or maybe you have plants that require higher levels of moisture, like ferns or plants like that, that's kind of where these fungus gnats can come in, and then they can start infesting your fiddle leaf fig as well. So there's a few strategies for getting rid of these fungus gnats. So one good thing about these fungus gnats is that they're not actually harmful to your plant. They're annoying, they're kind of gross, they're just, not something that you want to have flying around your home, but they're not actually going to hurt your plant. So that's good. At least they're not, spider mites or mealybugs. They're not going to harm your plant or cause holes in the leaves, but they are annoying and we're going to want to get rid of them. The first thing is that you could just remove the top 2 inches of soil. So, if your plant is really root bound, this can be hard to do, and you could actually damage your plant if your fiddle leaf fig has roots coming up through the top few inches of soil. So this is only for a newly potted plant or something where you're pretty confident there's not roots within the top 2 inches of soil. Just dig it out, get rid of it. Hopefully that's going to get rid of all of the larvae, the eggs, and the gnats themselves. And so that would be my first bet, is just scoop out all the soil, let it dry out a little bit, put new, fresh, sterilized soil in. If you feel like you have a plant that you haven't repotted in a while, and maybe it's time to repot, now is a great time. Repot your fiddle leaf fig and get rid of all of the old soil and all of those fungus gnats with it, and then put it in fresh soil and let the top few inches dry out between waterings, and that really should fix your problem. Of course, that's kind of a lot of work. So if you're looking for something a little bit easier, let's talk about the easy ways to kill them in your existing plant. There's a few natural ways that you can try to treat these fungus fungus gnats, and I have tried a lot of the natural ways. So the first thing is you can use baking soda. You can kind of mix it into the top layer of your plant. That's fine. Try it, give it a go, see if it works for you. It's super easy, super cheap. The second thing you could try is hydrogen peroxide. So you could spray half hydrogen peroxide, half water on the top level of your plant and just kind of dig it in and spray all of the existing fungus gnats, see if that works for you. I tried it, it didn't work for me, but I have heard that it works for other people. So again, a super cheap, easy way to try. I'd give it 48 hours. And if your gnats are still looking like they're doing pretty well, then you may want to move over to kind of the next step. So a next natural remedy would be diatomaceous earth. And so this is a powdered mineral and it has kind of these sharp edges on it. They're like microscopic sharp edges. So you would basically mix this in around your plant, and it's a common gardening natural thing that you can use. So mix this into the top few inches of soil and see if that works for you. It has worked for a lot of people. I haven't tried this on my plants, but give it a go if it's something, if you really, it's important for you to kind of do a natural, safe remedy for your plants. And then another thing that people try, which I'll just mention because people recommend it, but I don't really understand why, is these fly paper or fly traps. This will kind of attract and trap the gnats, but it doesn't fix the problem. They still can be living in your soil. They still can be reproducing. You can still have them flying around. I think it's kind of unsightly and gross. So I don't understand, why people use it. You see this a lot with horses. So I have horses too, and people use these fly traps or these fly papers. It's not striking at the root of the problem. It's just collecting dead flies, and it's kind of gross. You want to really treat the problem, which is for horses, it's the manure, the reproduction of the flies, and the problem of a dirty stall, at the root. And so that's really where you want to get started, is treating that. With my battle against fungus gnats, I went from kind of trying the hydrogen peroxide and the baking soda, and that didn't work. And I just thought, to hell with it. I'm going to go with a chemical and kill these things and just annihilate them. And so I didn't try some of the kind of natural remedies, neem oil, things like that. People say they have good results from spraying them with neem oil. So that's something I would try. I just went straight to the chemicals. And so what I recommend is this houseplant and garden insect killer. And so I'll link to it below. So it is a full-on chemical insect killer. And we've actually used something similar on horses. With horses, you're always spraying chemicals on them to try to kill the flies and keep the flies off them. With this, you actually just spray this in the soil and it will guarantee you it will work. So I had an office one time where we had tons of plants throughout the office. It was huge, and people had, plants on their cubicles, and we got this fungus gnat infestation, and no one really took ownership. So finally I just had it, and I bought this and I sprayed every plant in the office. And the next day we never had the problem again. It was just like an atomic bomb went off for these little fungus gnats, and they were gone forever. We didn't have to treat it again. It just took care of the problem. So if you're at the point that you're kind of done trying the natural solutions and you just want to kill these things, try this product, spray it on the top layer of soil, and they'll probably be gone within about 24 hours. So I recommend this. It's not the same. This is just something that you spray and it'll kill the gnats in the soil. This is not the same as what you would spray on the leaves to kill spider mites and mealybugs and things like this. This is for fungus gnats in the soil. So this product is really great for that. But for those other insects, I would check out our other videos about treating insects on your fiddle leaf fig leaves. So I hope this video is helpful. I know how annoying fungus gnats can be. If you're going through this, you may try some of the natural solutions. You could try removing the top of the soil. You could try baking soda, etc. Letting your soil dry out. But if you get fed up, try this product. I know it will work for you. It worked for me. I hope it was helpful. Please subscribe to our channel, give this video a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.